Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. So today what I have for you is a deck that Darmin used on a video that he made not too long ago. It was his beast deck. I was talking to him and I asked him if I could modify a deck that he wasn't successful with, basically de-Darminizing it, which to me means taking some of the cards that were getting in the way of the functionality of the deck. So I didn't want to just make a deck from scratch. I actually took most of his deck. I took out the Bazoo, the I think the Kangaroo, and I took out the Security Orbs. I added some cards like Outstanding Dogmaron. He basically helps your Obedience School stay relevant, because once it hits the grave it goes back to your deck, so it helps your Obedience School stay playable. I also run Storm just in case that you have a dead Obedience School, or you want to get rid of your Poison Fangs, because this deck is definitely weak against back row. So there's some minor changes and I had somewhat success with the deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you some replays. Alright, let's go into our first replay. Shoutouts to Darmin, by the way, for being cool about me doing this. He actually even provided me with this avatar so I could put it in the thumbnail and everything, so appreciate that, Darmin. But yeah, let's get into this replay. So we're gonna be seeing it from my opponent's point of view. I'm using Bandit Keith and Restart, which is the same skill he was using. So my opponent goes first. He starts with Neo, the Magic Swordsman, and sets Autonomous Action Unit. So I go into Obedience School, summoning 3 monsters, one of them being the Dog Maroon, and as you can see it immediately goes into the deck. So I get to tribute for my Yellow Baboon and immediately get rid of his Neos. My Mock Mole dies, but it comes back because his effect activates on the graveyard, so it kind of goes around the Obedience School restriction. He sets a Yomi ship and just ends his turn. So I set a card face down. I can't remember exactly what that was, and I summon just a Playful Possum in attack mode to get some cheap damage in. Unfortunately, he does get rid of my Yellow Baboon with Yomi ship, and but I do get some cheap damage. My opponent can't really do much since he has 2 monsters that require tribute, so he goes for Autonomous Action Unit and takes my Yellow Baboon, which kind of sucks. Oh, I remember now. He attacks my Playful Possum. I let him destroy it because my face down is actually an enemy controller. So I end up just tributing one of my monsters to take my Yellow Baboon back and attack him per game. So one of the reasons I took out the Security Orbs were because I felt like they were a little redundant, since you already run 2 Econ, you already run Windstorm. You don't need to play super defensively with this deck, as you can see. So that was one quick and easy win. Let's go on to our next replay against Mako Tsunami. And he's going to be using Daedalus deck. I guess that's how you pronounce that monster. Sorry if I butchered the name. Anyway, this time we're going to see from my perspective. So he gets his Umi on the field. I opened pretty well with Obedience School and a Tribute monster, so that's great. He sets 1 card and ends turn. I draw into Playful Possum. I activate Obedience School. Also, it's very important. As you can see, I run 5 different targets for obedience school. If you only run 3 targets, and sometimes even 4, you'll end up drawing those monsters, and then your obedience school is just dead. So I think 5 is a good number. It's not like you're running 10 monsters, because I only have one Hane and one of the dogs. But anyway, I summoned 3. I sacrificed for Yellow Balloon. My dog goes back into the grave, and I attack for 800 with my Mugmole. He does have an econ, so he gets to save himself from quite a bit of damage. Mugmole gets destroyed and comes right back because of its effect. So he goes into piercing Morai, I guess. I immediately chain enemy controller to negate his big wave small wave because I didn't want to get blown up. So at this point, I pretty much won the game because I stopped his winning condition, which was big wave, small wave into Daedalus, blow up the field and attack. So I destroy his piercing Morai and go for 800 damage. And he just sets 1 card, which I'm thinking it's a Yomi ship. But I have Poison Fangs, and I have some more monsters that can just finish him off. I attack into the face down, and it's not Yomi ship, but either way it didn't matter. I knew I was going to be able to destroy it, and my Poison Fangs with my weak monsters are able to finish the game for me. I like Poison Fangs a lot. I really think I'm going to end up building a deck around it. That's why I decided to keep it. So that's it for the second replay. And then we'll go into our third replay. This is going to be a pretty short video. I want to keep trying to upload every other day if I can. Like I say, I wasn't sure what to upload today, so I came up with this funny idea and went with it. So it's going to be a shorter video than usual, because this is going to be our last replay. So here I activate restart because I'm looking for obedience school, and there it is. This is the perfect hand. You get obedience school and you get a tribute monster. So the same play as before, activate obedience school, summon 3. Also, you always want to tribute your dog and keep Mugmole on the field, because although it gets destroyed, you'll get it back at the end phase, and then your dog goes to the deck to keep your other obedience school alive. So I summon Green Baboon and end my turn. My opponent sets two back row and ends his turn. And I draw into Yellow Baboon. So check this out. I try to go for the double attack, and he summons Embodiment of Apophis in attack mode. Obviously, it's a mirror wall. I still attack into it because I'm gonna be able to replace my Green Baboon immediately with Yellow Baboon, and I forced his mirror wall, so that's one less resource for him, and I get to replace one boss monster for another. So that's why I did that. I really think I would have still played into that mirror wall, just because it doesn't really help you to wait, because your opponent is just gonna build more resources as you wait, so you might as well force the play. He attacks Hane. I return his trap to the hand so that he has to wait 1 turn to summon. And I draw into Playful Possum, which doesn't really help me right now, since I did banish my Green Baboon. So I just attack for some cheap damage with Mugmole. And again, he has to set that Embodiment of Apophis. And then he goes for Master Kyonshe, destroying my Mugmole, which I don't mind. I draw, I get my second Green Baboon, So I activate Playful Possum's effect, triggering my Green Baboon's effect by paying 1000 life points. And there we go, two boss monsters on the field. He's forced to activate his embodiment to protect himself, but it doesn't really matter. I empty his field. He doesn't have. It's gonna be hard for him to respond to this field, which oddly enough, as you'll see, he is running Destiny Draw, and he has 3 cards in hand. So I was really curious to see what he was gonna pull. He just sets 1 card, so I'm assuming it's Windstorm. So all I gotta do is switch one of them to defense mode, and then win the game by attacking. I was a little disappointed that he didn't come up with a better play than just a Windstorm, but that was another easy win. So that's it for the replays, and that's gonna be it for this short video. I might do this again. It was pretty fun. And you know, a lot of his decks have potential. Sometimes he just puts 1 or too many cards, and but yeah, as you can see, you can de-Darminize the deck, and it'll work just fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna put his video in the description, even though I'm sure you guys have seen it. Thanks again to Darmin for being cool with me making something like this. Hopefully he watches this video and maybe revisits his deck. I'd be interesting to see how it works for him. Till next time.